Canada Series is at Canada's home for motorsport. The NASCAR Canada Series kicks off their 20th season. Get ready, we're going to take on a legend.
The famed Mosport Circuit has hosted the who's who of racing for the past 60 years. For the past 20, NASCAR has entertained the masses at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. The twists and turns of Canada's track have always led to elevated tension and drama, but massive excitement. Today, some that are already legends prepare for another chance at glory, while the up-and-coming youth look to make their mark in Canada Series. Welcome to round number 1 of the 2026 NASCAR Canada Series. We're at the 10-turn Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Bowmanville, Ontario, as 31 racers lock in for the CarGurus 200. Hello and welcome to our 20th season of broadcasting NASCAR races in Canada. I'm Dave Bradley. Along with me is Adam Ross, and Clinton Jeffrey is pitside for us here today. And Adam, it's been 20 years, 229 races, and more than 36,000 laps. What more can you say?
Well, we can say NASCAR is not going anywhere. 2026 is a clean slate. We have a new series director, a new race director. We're on a new tire. All of these teams will be on McCreary tires all season long. And Dave, we have a new centerpiece event, the Markham Indy in August, and NASCAR Canada is going to be the feature program on the Saturday of that massive race weekend.
And when you take a look at the schedule, it'll be 14 races across 4 provinces. We'll crisscross the country once again. 6 road courses and 8 ovals make up the 2026 championship. And when you look at contenders, look no further than the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, who won back-to-back championships, and he's looking to go 3 in a row this year. And let me tell you, that GM Paillet team didn't take any time off over the winter.
They sure didn't. They were the first team to ever successfully defend their championship, and they are the odds-on favorite to win a 3rd in the row on the strength of a great driver, a well-funded team, and Robin McCluskey calling the shots on the pit box. But let's not forget drivers like DJ Kennington, LP Dumoulin, former champions who'd love to make a charge at the title, and Kevin Lacroix, who shockingly has still not won a championship. Throw into the mix this year, Dave, the choose rule. What you see in NASCAR on Sundays is now going to be in Canada at the end of every caution when the field lines up. Drivers will be able to choose their fate, decide what line they want to start in.
Make it even more exciting. Earlier during E3 Sparkplugs pole qualifying, it was the 71 of Gary Clute who took top spot in a time of 122.579, beating out 31 other drivers here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
It is zero surprise that Gary Clute set fast time. He is always phenomenal here at CTMP. What is a surprise, the 2 fastest drivers all day long, Connor Bell and LP Dumoulin, failed to crack the top 10 in qualifying. They're going to start 12th and 11th, respectively.
Let's head down pitside. Say hello to Clinton Jeffrey, who's standing by with our pole sitter.
Thanks, guys. I've got Gary Clute here. Gary, you've had some success here, but you've also had a bunch of heartaches. How do you turn today into a valuable day?
We just, stick to the plan, race our own race, and see what the race will give us. There's so many variables here, it's hard to really think too far ahead.
You got a new tire situation. How does that lead into this race for you guys?
Again, just throws another variable there. We're gonna see how the tires fare and play it by ear.
All right, let's move over to our outside pole sitter, Marc-Antoine Cameron. Mark, you've got a busy day here today. You've had success here in the past. How do you make sure you have a fantastic kickoff to your season?
Well, I think with those new tires, we have to be safe. Nobody run a complete race on them. So I think patience will be the key today and make the 96 back on the victory lane.
What concerns you today going into the start of the season?
Tires. I mean, everybody are in the same boat. Nobody race, a complete race on them. So I think the tire will be an issue, and which guy will manage them, they know the most.
Good luck today, Mark. There you heard from both our front row starters. Guys, it's going to be a beautiful day here at CTMP. Get ready. We have a wild one. We'll be right back after this to get this race underway.
The CarGurus 200 from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park is brought to you by Pinty's, wing it. By CarGurus, #1 most downloadable car shopping app in Canada. By Napa Auto Parts, you need it, we've got it. That's Napa know-how. And by Castrol, liquid engineering for every car.
Dave, the weather couldn't be better on this Victoria Day weekend for the CarGurus 200.
Well, that's the thing. It's a lot warmer than it has been in years gone by, so that may play a factor too. Driver fatigue will all play a role. These drivers just getting back into it for the first time here in 2026.
And after the longest off-season ever, let's send it to Brian Smart and Devin Ellert for today's command.
Drivers, start your engine!
After a long winter of waiting, the engines come to life here on the front straightaway at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. There's another good look at your pole sitter, Gary Clute. New number here in 2026, looking for new luck as well.
And this is row number 1 of 16. 31 cars scheduled to take the green flag today, Dave. What a car count.
And you'll see we have a number of onboard cameras to give you unique views of today's action. Dexter Stacey in the 8 car will be one to carry an onboard shot, as well as Alex Gannett in the 39. Alex Gannett going to run a full season in 2026.
Some exciting new looks and some tradition. How about David Thorndike, 69 years old, making his 40th career NASCAR start here today.
And Jacques Gannett, who is 80, making his 5th NASCAR Canada Series start. So let's take a look at your starting grid. We touched on the front row, Gary Clute, Marc-Antoine Cameron.
Kyle Steckley in row number 2 alongside Alex Tagliani in the 80.
Then we go back to row number 3. That's where we find Kevin Lacroix and Andrew Ranger, a couple of heavy hitters.
4th row, Will LaRue in the 45, DJ Kennington the 17.
Go a row back to row number 5. That's where we find Sam Fellows in the 87. Rookie Tyler Gonzalez making his first start.
Row 6 has Alex Gannett, LP Dumoulin, a couple of early race favorites.
Row number 7, Connor Bell and Malcolm Strawn in 13th and 14th.
In row 8, it's Ryan Clute alongside JP Bergeron in the 1.
Back into row number 9, that's where we find the number 9, Matthew Kingsbury. He'll start alongside Simon Charbonneau.
19th and 20th are Larry Jackson and Dave Courcelle.
Back to row 11, that's Dexter Stacey, Brad Ranson, again, another rookie here in 2026.
Row 12 has Dominic Scrivo in the 69 with Josh Hurley in the 24.
Row 13 is where we find Daryl Timmers and Ron Tomlinson. Couple of part-time drivers in 2026.
Sylvain Ouellette and Glenn Stiers make up row 14.
Row 15, Jeff Johnson, David Thorndike, as we mentioned, 69 years young here today. And then row 16 has Jacques Gannett in the 93, and Keith Bean will not make the start here today in the number 19.
Dave, this is the biggest crowd I have ever seen for Victoria Day weekend as we look at the Pinty's race analysis.
Most important today is going to be strategy. The fuel window, 12 to 15 laps. They'll be a little bit more conservative on tires. Let's head down, check in one more time with Clinton.
Thanks, guys. Well, first off, let's talk about this massive crowd. Huge crowd here at CTMP today, but down here on pit road, it's busy as well. 31 teams are going to take the green today, and it is going to be a story we will follow. The other story I want to talk about quickly is Tyler Gonzalez. He's a youngster out of Florida, a lot of road racing experience, set great times in practice, hit the wall in qualifying with an issue with the car. The team, Mike Gowdy and the ownership group worked all night long, literally, to get this car ready. They're not sure what they're going to have here on the track, but watch for this kid. If the car is back, it's going to be a show here today.
Dave, there's an issue on the back straightaway. Kevin Lacroix has pulled out of line in the 74 and drops all the way towards the back.
And you can see some smoke hanging in the air. You can see the green hood of that Carlisle Melts number 74, and this looks to be a big issue. Have a look at what happened. Scrubbing his tires as normal, and that's heading into turn number 2, so they just got going.
It sounded like a tire blew out, but I I don't know that that's what the problem is. He's headed down pit lane towards Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, he's slowly making his way down pit lane as the field continues under pace laps, but this is going to hurt for one of the pre-race favorites, Clinton.
Kevin Lacroix pulls in here on pit road, and you can see they've got a problem with the upper A-arm here on this car. It is broken or something is askew. You saw how the tire was rubbing on the fender. They're going to have some serious work here before we get rolling to get this 74 back into contention.
That's a deep groove around the center of that McCreary tire. I'm not sure this is an issue they can fix in the one pace lap that they've got to try and get out ahead of the field.
And at this point, if you're Kevin Lacroix, what more can you say? Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong to you here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in the last little while. He just has been snake-bitten, hasn't he?
Dave, that's an understatement. But let's talk good news. We're about to go green. Sam Fellows has our Pinty's onboard camera here today.
Great driver angle on Marc-Antoine camera, and also this follow camera that's going to give us some great views. Dominic Scrivo is going to carry an onboard camera on that good-looking number 69 as the field lines up 2 by 2. 30 vehicles now deep in this NASCAR Canada Series group as the 74 continues to sit along pit lane, working our way through the final set of corners before we go to green here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park to kick off the 2026 NASCAR Canada Series season. It's Gary Clute and it's Marc-Antoine Cameron in through turn number 10.
Roger Tennant, preferred client from Castrol, Canada. He's the honorary starter, green flag in hand. Gary Clute working his way through the gears. We're under green.
The sound of thunder echoing here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as the field makes it cleanly through turn number 1. Heads down the hill in turn number 2 for the first time.
They charge off at turn 2, all sorts of runoff room if they need it. One driver, I think that's Simone Charbonneau, used about 4 lanes of that runoff.
If they need it, he definitely needed it that time, but it does come in handy. Remember, they paved that several years ago to make it a safer area for these drivers, and it shows there. Simone Charbonneau able to continue on, and we avoid a caution.
Gary Clute out in front. You can see Cameron applying the pressure there. We've got Alex Gannett in the 39 making a move alongside LP Dumoulin in the 47. Let's ride along.
DJ Kennington of the Castrol Dodge sneaking underneath the 45 of Will LaRue. He'll bring the AER number 87 of Sam Fellows along with him. Fellows, a former podium placer here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and he knows this place like the back of his hand.
Is there a term for the victims, Dave? I mean, Sam Fellows is one of the ones who was dirtied a little bit. He was leading and then got knocked into. Gary Clute, it's happened numerous times to Gary Clute. There should be a term for it.
A victim, I think, is probably a good one. And there is Kevin Lacroix. Clinton?
Well, guys, as you can imagine, a very dejected Kevin Lacroix walking back away from the pit area here. We asked him to speak. He did not want to talk, as you can imagine. Major disappointment for someone who had a chance at a championship here in this series.
And Dave, why is it such a problem here at CTMP? Because 31 cars. He will finish 31st today. We have numerous races this year which may have fewer than 20 cars. That's 11 additional spots, only because it's such a popular race that he's going to miss out on those points.
Yeah, there's several races you don't want to have a bad day, and this is one of them, because not only does it draw a ton of fans in the crowd, it also draws a huge crowd of race cars here in the NASCAR Canada Series as Andrew Ranger chases Alex Tagliani, and that is a battle for 3rd spot in this early going.
Ranger looks like he has a little more speed than Tag. sort of showing his nose here and there. Not really any intention of passing, but it does bother the driver ahead of you because they notice in their mirror something is amiss. Like, hey, a driver's not in line. Is he making a move? It's going to be pretty hard to rattle Alex Tagliani.
Keep in mind, though, Andrew Ranger is not necessarily looking big picture this year as he slides around outside of turn 2. That is a textbook pass on the inside of turn number 3. But Ranger's just going for wins here in 2026. He doesn't have full sponsorship to cover his entire season. He's got about 10 races covered, so hey, just go for broke and try and get those checkers.
Let me ask you this, because you were around for Andrew Ranger's championship season. Did he ever look like he was points racing?
Never.
Just a hard-charging driver. Let's have another look. This is a beautiful pass. On the racing line off of 2, Alex Tagliani does what everybody does, move over to the left for entry into 3. Ranger just used the momentum he built off the exit of turn 2, and the door opened wide for him.
Lap number 3, that's not a battle you want to fight too hard if you're Alex Tagliani, so smart to let him go at this point. But now Tagliani has another partner to dance with, and that's Kyle Steckley in the Sierra Excavating number 22.
I'll tell you what I'm noticing, though, about Tagliani. His car is not working well in left-hand turns. Turn 2, turn 9. There's more right-hand turns than left-hand turns here at CTMP. That car does not look comfortable in the left-hand turns.
Battle heating up front. Cameron ducks to the inside again. Perfect passing opportunity for Cameron, but Klut's not going to let him go easy in the Autologic IQ number 71. As they'll drag race side by side into turn number 4.
This is not a place you want to be side by side. Gary Klut making it tough for Marc-Antoine Cameron, but he will make that pass and they will fall back single file. But look, it's pulled the field right up on their back bumpers.
Watch the window, the front windscreen on that 71 as he catches a draft. You can see the vibration as he sucks up into the back of the GM Paille number 96, Marc-Antoine Cameron, but Cameron's strong enough, he'll hang on to it in turn number 8. And if you're looking at Gary Klut and thinking, new number 71, where does this come from? That's his old karting number. That's the number he used growing up. He always wanted to go back to it in the NASCAR Canada Series. He says, I finally got around to it.
And that's a cool story, the number that he grew up racing. And I notice more on the onboards than I do the other cameras, but how lucky are we to have a facility like CTMP? I mean, this is beautiful.
Really is, and it's well manicured. They were prepared for today's race as the Curb Records number 98, Malcolm Strawn, heads down pit lane. And it looks like this is going to be an unscheduled stop as the hood goes up.
Never good when they're reaching for the hood pins. The crew having a look. A Jim Bray-led team. Someone who's been involved with NASCAR for what, 60, 70 years, Dave?
Yeah, and is just as excited to come to the pit area today as he was on day number 1 getting involved in the series. And here's another problem, too. This is Brad Ransom. He's making his first start in that DJ Kennington prepared number 28.
Clinton Jeffrey going to get his steps in today. He's on pit road.
98 car pulls into pit road unexpectedly. Obviously, they're going to go into the hood. This team has been experiencing spark plug wire issues all weekend. It continues to ail them. They're going to send it back out, but that's the problem here on the 98.
Another driver who had high hopes. He's been on the podium here at CTMP in the past, and today that is not going to be the case.
I find it fascinating that even 6 laps into this race, historically you see 1 or 2 cars start to pull a gap at the front. We don't have that in this race, at least not yet. Everybody's staying pretty compact, although the top 2, well, now I say that, and Andrew Ranger's going to join that fight not too long.
Well, let's keep one thing in mind, the new tires that we've all been talking about this weekend. This is by far the hottest day they've had on these tires. Does anybody really want to push the envelope?
On board with Kyle Steckley as he chases Alex Tagliani. Donald Teach has such high hopes for Tag to win this year that if they do, they'll take this car out of circulation, take it out of the stable, and put it in the new Tag karting complex in Quebec City. Then Mike McCall will go to work and build them a brand new piece. That's a pretty cool deal.
And Alex Tagliani looks as good as he ever had, having won this weekend in a different class in the Radicals, and looking good out here as well. And we're getting word, Dave, the 71 of Gary Clute may come in for fuel as early as this time by. And I'll tell you, John Fletcher, his crew chief, always has a trick up his sleeve. He's also got his brother Scott Fletcher. He does the calculations on fuel mileage.
Yeah, so that would be about 5 laps sooner than many people were talking on pit lane. So we'll have to wait and see if that 71 does, in fact, come down pit lane early as this battle continues between Steckley and Tagliani.
And racers doing what racers do. If Gary Clute comes into the pits from the front, how many people follow him?
Usually the leader triggers something unless you're not getting as good gas mileage. But again, you know, limited practice and limited ability for these teams to make those fuel mileage calculations, especially on a new tire. Different temperature conditions, different track conditions today. So many variables to play into the factors.
And you just mentioned it, Dave, and some of these camera angles really show it. Nobody is getting away. Cameron is leading. He likes being out in front, but he is not driven away like we sometimes see.
No, you can see the top 5 all in one screenshot. Even looking back, top 10 are really all in contention. And
Gary Clute pokes his nose out of the draft, having a look to the outside of Marc-Antoine Cameron. Again, doesn't look like he was trying to make a move, just maybe get the attention of that driver in front.
Steckley as well, tucked in behind. And you know what? Following somebody down that straightaway with the draft as strong as it is, and now I say that Steckley is going to move to the inside in turn number 10. So the 22 and 80 will go side by side down the front straightaway.
Down towards turn number 1, a 90-degree right-hand turn. Kyle Steckley noses out ahead of the 80 Tagliani. Awful early for Tagliani to really fight back.
Kyle Steckley has a very full racing schedule, and problems for Tyler Gonzalez in the Muskoka Mod Center, number 38, after the team worked so hard to put that car back together.
He was very fast and very confident that he was going to have a good day today, and he looked great in practice. Things are not going their way.
On board with Gary Clute. He's already passed that lap 7 mark, by the way. Still no pit stop for the 71 team, so it might have just been chatter to throw some people off.
Well, and that's something they will do. When you put something out over the radio waves, these teams have ways of hearing each other.
But again, getting better gas mileage tucked up in that draft down the Andretti straightaway. He'll be improving that mileage compared to the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, who has to poke that initial hole through the air.
Clinton Jeffrey has made his way to the 38 pit.
Tyler Gonzalez brings this 38 car to pit road. Massive fluid leak under the hood, and this is the one that had all kinds of issues yesterday. They rebuilt this car throughout the night. Obviously, not all together the way they need it to be today.
So it looks like his day is going to come to an end early. There's smoke coming from underneath the hood of that Ford Mustang, and more problems for another Ford Mustang. This is the 14 car of Jeff Johnson off the pace.
That is almost the same spot he came to rest yesterday when he had a failure in the transmission of that 14 car. And I don't see how we don't wind up full course yellow. There is just no getting out from that spot that he is.
28 of Brad Ransom being pushed behind the wall as we're under our first full course caution of the afternoon here in the CarGurus 200. So far, Marc-Antoine Cameron has been comfortable out in front, but the 71 has been giving him chase this entire time. Who's coming down pit lane? We're about to find out. Welcome back to race number 1 of the 2026 NASCAR Canada Series. We're at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the CarGurus 200. And we can tell you over 40,000 people passed through the gates this weekend. That is the biggest Victoria Day weekend crowd ever.
And here we go on to pit road. Gary Clute coming down pit lane. Alex Tagliani coming down pit lane. Who else? LP Dumoulin and Dexter Stacey.
Just fuel right now for one of the leaders, the 71, who was on pole in Gary Clute. He's having some trouble with that fuel can.
Yeah, these are the newer style NASCAR fuel cans, and Alex Tagliani, this does not surprise me. Remember, it looked like that car was noticeably off the pace in left-hand turns. And when we say that, that's against the leaders. But there was room for improvement on the left-handers.
Also down pit lane, LP Dumoulin. There you see the weather tech number 47 leaving, and Dexter Stacey as well.
And LP Dumoulin got out ahead of Gary Clute. So we talked about the fueling issues. Maybe that cost him a little bit of time. But those are newer style fuel cans. They don't require a catch can, but they are very finicky for the crews to use.
Theoretically, they should be quicker if it all goes according to plan. So we continue under caution here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. There's a look at the 38 of Tyler Gonzalez from St. Cloud, Florida, who is currently out of this race. Mechanical issues on that Ford Mustang as his day ends early. And have a look at this. The first time ever the choose rule has been used in the NASCAR Canada Series.
Boy, as soon as we focused on it, you could see drivers making decisions that would cost someone a row, gain someone a row. I'm not sure here at CTMP if it makes a huge difference, but in my mind, Dave, I almost think the outside might be more comfortable because the turn 1 is a 90-degree right-hand turn. Seems to me there's more options if you're on the outside than the inside.
If you can carry the momentum through turn number 1, it positions you perfectly for the inside of turn number 2, which is where you really want to be. But we'll see how it plays out.
I was thinking carnage. If there's carnage in 1 and you're on the inside, there's the wall to your right or the carnage ahead of you.
That's a good point. Field coming up into the Pinty's restart zone as the green flag waves once again. We're back underway here in the CarGurus 200.
2 GM Paillet Chevrolets out in front. Cameron gets out with the lead. Andrew Ranger trying to slot into second. He will just ahead of Kyle Steckley.
See Steckley make that aggressive move to get back into line. He didn't want to be hung out on the outside. He tucked in front of the Castrol Dodge of DJ Kennington. Look at Sam Fellows getting racy into turn number 3, but he'll back off.
Poke the nose to the inside of DJ Kennington. Kennington wasn't having it. Behind them, another couple of blue cars. That's Alex Gannett in the 39 who made a pass on Connor Bell.
Now, if you saw Marc-Antoine Cameron at the beginning of the race, he was very calm, very collected. That's because he has a great track record here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. 7 straight podium finishes, including 4 wins. He's had 10 podiums in his last 11 races here. That's phenomenal.
The sound of these cars pulling down the back straightaway, that's phenomenal. Sam Fellows again, having a look to the inside, nothing there. DJ Kennington maintains the spot. Will LaRue right behind them in the 45. Whoa!
Kennington with a big slide in turn number 9. He has to play defense. Fellows got caught out, made contact with Will LaRue, and around goes the 87.
There was a lot went into Sam Fellows spinning right there, and it began with DJ Kennington getting squirrely in turn 9. And I don't know if Fellows might have gotten into him or if the car just got out from under Kennington.
Either way, Fellows had to watch the entire field go by before he could get going. So that drops the AER number 87 of Sam Fellows all the way down into last place.
I look forward to seeing this again. And this is the aftermath. Fellows had to check up for Kennington. Will LaRue didn't. LaRue went to the inside. They go side by side into 10. Let's see. There you go. Kennington slides out.
I don't think there was original contact.
Fellows did a really nice job punching the throttle to keep that car spinning around and get out of harm's way.
Yeah, so no major damage to the 87. He's able to continue on, but he's lost a ton of track position.
Listen to the throttle work as they come from turn 8 up to turn 9. More braking as you get into turn number 10. Marc-Antoine Cameron leads the way. Andrew Ranger right in his tire tracks.
That's Kyle Steckley, who has a busy racing schedule this year. He's racing in ARCA, APC Late Model Series, ASA, as well as here in the NASCAR Canada Series with MBS Motorsports. Jeff Murphy and Dominic Scrivo supporting his effort here in that Sierra Excavating number 22.
Definitely racking up the frequent flyer miles and the late night drives as Kyle Steckley, and turning a lot of heads, just doing a great job as we see Gary Clute. Look to the inside of Josh Hurley, couldn't make that move. Alex Tagliani battling with Ryan Clute just outside of the top 10.
So Gary Clute is one of the drivers who stopped to take some fuel. Connor Bell in the diamond storage number 3. That's an outbreaking maneuver underneath the one of JP Bergeron.
Tell me that's not a slide job.
That was a slide job.
That is a pavement slide job, and it was beautiful.
For 7th spot for Connor Bell, and Connor Bell has done very well in his young career in the NASCAR Canada Series. 2 starts, he has a win and a 2nd place.
He doesn't even know what it's like to drive the car back to the paddock after a race. He's always headed for victory lane.
Well, he had a fast car in practice, unfortunately missed a little bit. It's Kennington in the 17 down pit lane.
A long drive down pit road at 60 kilometers an hour. And Clinton Jeffrey, I hope he's wearing good shoes today because he has got a lot of ground to cover. Here comes DJ.
DJ Kennington will bring the 17 car to pit road, a top up of the Gulf fuel, and that will be a little bit drink for the 17 here. They'll also clean the grill and send away. DJ Kennington having a solid day so far.
DJ Kennington's crew going old school with the catch can and the fuel canister, and you can see it went fairly well for him. Down and away, no major issues.
It appeared to, as we've got a 3-car breakaway out in front. Cameron the 96, Ranger in the 27, Steckley in the 22.
About 2 seconds ahead of 4th place Will LaRue, and the 74 team, you might have caught a glimpse of them still working on that car on pit lane. It is a long season, 14 races. Despite, being down today, you want to go out and try and claim as many positions as you can.
100%. This is a championship battle. We have a short season as it is, so any spots they can make up might come in critically handy at the end of the year.
Tagliani working on Josh Hurley in the 24s. A couple more drivers head down pit lane. That's Alex Gannett and Connor Bell. Tagliani will complete that pass in turn number 10.
Josh Hurley with a donut right on the number of that blue 24. And you'll get that here. These cars slide around quite a bit. You will get some contact side to side on these restarts as Kyle Steckley had a look to the inside of Andrew Ranger going into turn 2.
DLGL number 39 of Gannett gets some fuel, as does the diamond storage number 3 of Connor Bell, and they'll have to slot in single file to exit pit lane. They're very, very close, as they were when they came in.
Kyle Steckley did not complete the pass he attempted there in turn 2. Still the top trio nose to tail as they head down the long back straightaway.
Remember, big question marks surrounded the new McCreary tire. The drivers were talking about it on the grid ahead of today's green flag. They just didn't know how long these tires would last, how hard they could push them. Now 17, almost 18 laps in, they seem to be holding up pretty well.
Ranger all but pushing Cameron around the track. Dave, we've seen people win. Is Ranger going to look to the inside of Cameron down into turn 9? That doesn't really count, does it?
It doesn't, because 2 of the top 3 decide to slide down pit lane. It is Marc-Antoine Cameron and Kyle Steckley.
We've seen drivers win this race changing 4 tires. We've seen drivers win this race changing 2 tires. Never have we seen someone win the race with 0 tires.
Adjustments for Steckley in his pit stall. Cameron is way down at the other end, so Steckley will finish first, and Clinton is standing by with a 96.
Marc-Antoine Cameron here on pit road. They have an extended fuel stop here as they have a situation with the fuel can. This Paillet team will roll away. The other team here with Paillet on the side, they're going to wait till the next caution.
Fascinating, the problems we are seeing fueling these race cars. And Dave, the reason being, we only have a live pit road, an active pit road, at these 2 CTMP events in a season. The rest are halfway breaks
and
or other road races that really don't have an active pit lane, although you're right, GP3R.
Yeah, they extended that race a few years ago to make it so it is a little bit of strategy at play there, so they do have to stop for a quick splash of fuel just to make it the race distance. But you're right, this is the only place where they will take fuel and tires.
Watching the Gary Clute, number 71, LP Dumoulin in the 47 right behind him. They're 4th and 5th right now in scoring, but that doesn't really tell the story because at least one of those cars was on pit road last time. Let's go back to pit road with Clint.
Andrew Ranger will pull the 27 car here to pit road. Just like the other teams that we've seen so far here today, they will top this one up with Gold Fuels and get him back to the speedway surface.
So that hands the lead over to Will LaRue in the 45, and we've talked about good early career moves in the NASCAR Canada Series. Will LaRue has a win and 3 seconds in 5 starts in the NASCAR Canada Series.
All of them on oval tracks so far. This is the first time we've seen him come out and compete on a road course. He looks right at home.
Riding on board with Gary Clute. The AutoLogic IQ number 71, just ahead of the WeatherTech.ca number 47 of LP Dumoulin, the man from Trois-Rivières, Quebec. And there is the gap out in front. Will LaRue in the 45-year race leader.
How badly does LP Dumoulin need a good result? The last couple of seasons, the speed just hasn't been there the way we're used to seeing it out of LP Dumoulin, a multi-time series champion.
Without dwelling on the negative too long, the last time he led a lap was GP3R in 2024. Will LaRue in the 45 continues to lead.
Alex Tagliani will bring the 80 car here to pit road. They will fuel up with Gulf just like everybody else, but they're making an adjustment to that left rear on this car. They will also make a right rear adjustment. So rear end adjustments to the 80 here of Alex Tagliani.
Shocking to me because he came in under caution and they also made a chassis adjustment, but that would explain why they didn't take that long putting fuel in the car.
Connor Bell's been having some good times here this weekend. The crew will go to work on left sides here for this beautiful number 3 machine. A lot of speed out of this car.
There has been a lot of speed, but this could be considered a little bit early, especially for left side tires. That's the side that takes the most abuse.
Well, you better believe everybody's going to be wanting to look at those tires that just came off the 3 car.
The 54 of Dave Corsol is in for his fuel stop, and TJ Kennington has stopped.
Now the 17 car shut off here on pit road. Crew working under the hood, trying to get some power steering fluid into the 17 here. steering issues, and you see them working the wheel back and forth to try and bleed the lines so they can get it all in here so DJ can get back out. He's had a fast car. He's not out of contention yet, but this is massive time they're losing.
Pretty impressive what that pit crew was just able to do, if it makes a difference for the 17 driver.
Thing is, we're not under caution. The field's still flying around under green. If this was an oval, he would be about 10 laps down at this point. DJ Kennington still not technically out of this race. 24 laps in the books of a scheduled 51 here in the CarGurus 200.
Riding on board there with LP Dumoulin just behind Gary Kloot in the 71.
I love watching these NASCAR Canada Series cars around this track because on the high-speed corners, they just slide in a four-wheel drift. It's poetry.
It really is, and when we have the onboards, the drivers have the same lack of sight that we do. All these blind corners, that's not unique to the camera. The drivers aren't able to see around many of the turns here at CTMP. Look at this, the speed he's carrying.
And it's a little bit of a lift and a lot of trust going into turn number 4. Here's a braking zone in turn 5. Slowest corner on the track.
And you can hear them ease off the turn, and then as soon as they know they've got the bite, hard on the gas.
And you need that bite to carry that momentum down the Andretti straightaway to try and close the gap. If you're LB Dumoulin, close the gap on Gary Kloot in front of you.
JP Bergeron up there in the number 3 spot in the 1 machine, quietly putting together a solid run out there in the E-Racer sponsored number 1.
Only running select races in 2026.
Closing in on Jacques Gannett in the 93. Gary Kloot will pass to drivers right down into turn 1. Gannett having a quiet run, staying out of trouble.
And that's sort of the goal for that team. Jacques Gannett doesn't want to mess up anybody's race, but out of 3rd place comes the E-Racer number 1 up JP Bergeron.
Stops right on the marks on pit lane.
He's operating that program out of his own shop, so it's a tall hill to climb for the 1 team, as you can see a number of other drivers trying to find their pit boxes.
Right side tires, the order of business for Kyle Steckley. Why is that one header sticking out a little farther? Or is the body punched in a bit there?
Right at that tire mark, it does look like the body's been punched in, so obviously contact with another driver at some point.
Yeah, I mean, if the header gets pinched or closed off at all, that can really hurt the horsepower and it can damage the engine.
Didn't look like it was bent, it just looked like it was poked out a little bit further, so something for the 22 team to watch as we get a good look at the number 87 of Sam Fellows. New look livery to this car here in 2026 after going predominantly white. He's flipping it to go mostly blue here this year.
You can see you just lift off the throttle down through turn 4, down the hill. LP Dumoulin back on pit lane again, and the WeatherTech 47.
An early contender for the win.
LP Dumoulin pulls the 47 car here to pit road. He's been having a great day, hanging around the top 5 all afternoon so far. Solid change so far for the right sides. Rear done, front done. They're going to drop that jack. What a fantastic stop for the WeatherTech crew.
Slightly different than what you'll see on a Sunday watching the Cup Series. You can well, they only have a single lug on the Cup Series, but the O'Reilly Series, you see them pound those lug nuts. You can barely see their hands moving. They're so fast. In this series, accuracy is far more important. They've got to make sure all 5 are on their tight, so things happen a little bit more slowly, but still, every second matters.
Well, you do have a little bit more time here on the road course than you would on, say, an oval, so you're allowed to take that little bit extra time just to make sure it's tight. Rather that than a wheel coming off.
I think this is as lonely as we've seen Gary Kloot all day long.
Yeah, he's not easing up on it, though, that's for sure, as he slides through turn number 8 and back onto the front straight. So he'll click off yet another lap comfortably behind the wheel of that number 71.
Look at that crowd. Wall-to-wall people. Now we're going into another popular viewing area, both sides of the racetrack, through turns 2 and 3, down towards 4. Both sides are packed.
Yeah, you can see up on top of the hill on the outside of turn number 2, a great vantage point is Andrew Ranger in the 27. The GM Paillet Chevrolet Canada Camaro heads down pit lane for his stop. Clinton.
Andrew Ranger pulls here on pit road. They've got all the big pry bars and looks like a flat tire as they need to jack the left side of this car up. We'll watch what happens here when they come back around to our side, but they have a situation on the left side here of the 27.
You can see a little bit further down, that is Marc-Antoine Cameron as he's in for his left side tires as well.
Car down off the jack, Cameron takes off. They are still working on the Ranger 27.
That is huge problem, and Ranger is so frustrated as he lights them up on his exit of pit lane.
The tire changer was pointing to his gun as though something might have been amiss, so we'll keep an eye on that 27.
How about this? And you can see it on the ticker at the top of your screen. Not just one Clute, but 2 Clutes in the top 2 as Ryan Clute in the number 42 has slid up in behind his brother. So it's Gary the leader, Ryan about 17 seconds further back as the 88 of Simon Charbonneau makes his stop as we ride on board now with the 69 of Dominic Scrivo.
Scrivo with 1 career top 10 finish. That was Calabogie last season. He'll be the first to tell you it was because of an accident, took out 4 cars on the last lap. The record book doesn't care. That's a top 10.
Timmers got really loose into turn number 5, and Dexter Stacy in the Bullies truck stop number 8 will say thank you very much and steal away that spot. But Timmers having a pretty decent run, as you can see Larry Jackson just ahead of the DLGL number 39 of Alex Gannett.
Heading down pit lane, it's a long drive at that speed for these drivers.
There's a good look at the legendary motor car number 42 of Ryan Clute. Trying to hang on to that second spot, being pressured by the Jura King number 9 of Matthew Kingsbury.
That number 9 at Kingsbury, in my opinion, is the slickest looking car in the field. I don't know what it is about it. I just love the look of that race car. Let's go back to pit road.
Andrew Ranger will pull the Paillet Chevy here to pit road. This should be their last scheduled stop of the day. They've got fuel, they've got the left sides, and now they will finish their service here with the right sides. He's hoping for a good finish here. They've hit all the marks so far, guys.
That looked like a much smoother stop that time for Ranger and the gang.
Yeah, obviously a new tire gun in the hands of the tire changer. And now Ranger has to go a pretty significant distance on his set of tires. But he's one of those drivers that's super smooth when he needs to be.
He can dial it up or dial it back as well as anybody in the field. He knows how to win these races in numerous ways.
Matthew Kingsbury is getting excited. Trying to dive underneath the 42. Still a ways back, but got a good wiggle out of that Jura King number 9.
Driving the wheels off of that thing right now, Ryan Clute. Not really turning a wheel wrong right now. Looks very smooth in the 42.
Still, Gary Clute compared lap times. Gary Clute to Ryan Clute, and there's Gary working on the 0 GSR of Schweeken Speedway of Glenn Stiers. Gary is about 1.5 seconds quicker a lap than Ryan in second place.
Unbelievable, and Gary Clute is having a really hard time getting around Glenn Stiers. He was behind him and close enough to almost make a move on the straightaway. That's all the way through 8, 9, 10, down into turn 1, still behind the Zero machine.
Saw a flash of the Superior Propane number 84 of Larry Jackson. Hard to miss that car with the predominantly yellow color, but he's just ahead of this battle, so he's watching his mirror and telling Glenn, keep him behind just a little while longer as I get away.
Man, Gary to the inside of turn number 3, but Steyer's good enough to keep him behind.
This is going to go a long way to build Glenn Steyers' confidence on a road course.
I mean, Glenn is always smiling, but it's going to be a real big smile this time down through turn 4. Steyers gets a little bit wide through 4.
Steyers currently in 19th position. He is the last car on the lead lap. Larry Jackson in 18th, also on the lead lap, just ahead. And it looks like these two drivers, it looks like Clute is actually pushing Glenn Steyers to drive a little bit harder, and they're catching Larry Jackson in the Rack.ca number 84.
Now Gary Clute going to look to the inside in turn number 8, draws up alongside Steyers, and will complete that pass that took a full lap around Canadian Tire Motorsport Park to execute.
Yeah, Clute will be happy to have that 0 car in his rearview mirror for a little while, but soon to be in the shadow of the 84 car as they hit the front straightaway and click off another lap here in the CarGurus 200.
Glenn Steyers is going to school right now. He wants to stay as close to Gary as he can for as long as he can to compare braking points, shifting points. Whoa, we've got one off the track. That's Matthew Kingsbury in that Duro King number 9.
And we talked about how hard he was pushing, sitting in 3rd spot, and this is a big place to go off. That is turn number 8. He found the tire wall, grabbed a reverse, but seems to be an issue trying to get the drive gear as the Duro King number 9 sits stopped in that runoff area on the exit of turn number 8. But that's a dangerous spot. Still no full course caution.
Hey, you know what? Any place inside of the barriers, you don't want to be stopped here as Ryan Clute comes down pit road.
Yeah, so Clute getting in before any caution is pulled, and work goes on, pulling those McCreary tires off the right side of the LMC number 42.
Because should they go full course caution, the pits immediately close.
Down and away, the man from Halton Hills, Ontario, Kyle Steckley, also taking advantage of this potential full course caution, and there it is, but Steckley is in, and so this stop is going to count. A heads-up move by the 22 team.
And Matthew Kingsbury takes off, hits the throttle, drives away.
Under a full course caution, let's head pit side. Check in with Clinton once again.
Guys, one of the stories we've been talking a lot about today, these new McCreary tires. We got the reps down here, they're looking at the tire wear, and so far everything looks fantastic for this new tire package.
Scott Juneau from American Racer, McCreary Racing Tires. Been with them for quite some time.
So that'll put a lot of the fears at ease in the pit area. We continue under a full course caution. Welcome back to race number 1, the CarGurus 200 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It's a full course caution, so that means one thing: pit stop time, as it's about to get busy along pit lane. The leader is down, 2nd place and 3rd place too.
Gary Clute here on pit road for their first set of tires of the day. Fletch and the team are having fun. They told them, do it with a smile, boys. 5 on, 5 off. That's all we got to do. We expect the 71 to wheel back in here after making a cycle around to come back for the rights.
Now, to my untrained eye, Dave, that left front looked a little bit more worn than the other tires I've seen come off, and I don't know what texture I was looking at.
Seems pretty happy with it. There is LP Dumoulin down and away again as well. And again, Dumoulin is one of those drivers who has been quietly comfortable. If you talk to him, you know, post-practice, post-qualifying, he's pretty happy with his cars. A couple of the Larry Jackson racing cars down pit lane as well. There's Daryl Timmers in the 85, and Jackson will pull away in the 84.
Left side tires going on Timmers number 85 as the safety crew on the track possibly fluid, and that's in a very fast part of the racetrack between turns 8 and 9.
So an opportunity here for the crowd to stand up and stretch their legs a little bit as we're going to extend this caution period as the NASCAR Canada Series officials tend to that fluid down in between 8 and 9. But again, after the pit stops have cycled to this point, we have Josh Hurley at the front, but we've also got a problem for Andrew Ranger.
So Andrew Ranger in the 27 and Simone Charbonneau in the 88. There was an issue with timing and scoring. Officials wanted them to stop on the racetrack and go to the back. They both passed the caution car to drive around and get to the tail of the field. The officials said, no, you don't. Each of you have to come in and serve now a 1-lap penalty to give back the lap you took. And look at that. Kevin Lacroix, many laps down, but out on the racetrack.
And that's important because we've seen a few cars fall out of contention with mechanical problems. Kevin Lacroix picking up some spots.
This restart could get wild. Josh Hurley in the 24, he's been a top 15 car. He is on the front row. He is going to set the pace to this restart. Marc-Antoine Cameron alongside in the 96. We know he's lightning fast.
Hurley is not taking tires. Dave Courcol is not taking tires. Into the Pinty's restart zone. The green flag is up and we're back underway.
Oh my goodness, Hurley's car just did not go. The outside lane, Gary Kloot just picked up about half a dozen spots.
Marc-Antoine Cameron got a huge jump into turn number 1 and led that line down. And look at all the rest of the field fighting for position.
Everybody looking for racing room. It's not time to be nice. It's time to go make that money. Kloot up into the 2nd spot as they work through turn 3.
Hurley's getting swallowed up. That car is super wiggly under braking. As now into a battle with the 22 of Kyle Steckley. Hurley's going to try and hang on in that BC race car's number 24. Watch it under braking.
Hey, he's doing a fine job. He's holding his line. The challenge is these other cars were faster to begin with. Oh, we've got a full course caution. Yellow flag is out.
And so the drivers will start to ease up as they come into this area. It is for a spinning 84 of Larry Jackson. Turn number 5 is where we find that Superior Propane Best Buy number 84. And look at the crumpled nose on Connor Bell's car.
And what we see is pretty much what Connor Bell could see there. Let's have a look at this restart first. Hurley is the control car. He can fire anywhere in the restart zone. That's kind of suspicious to me because I never saw, even if he missed a shift, Dave, the car still needs to lurch.
Watch, we'll ride on board with Connor Bell.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, twice. Got into the back of LP Dumoulin not once but twice. The first one was okay. The second one really did the damage on the hood. Now he's flying blind. So Bell will come down pit lane in the 3 car. Clinton.
Connor Bell's weekend started so promising. They were at the top of the time charts earlier in the weekend. They have gotten a jingle here on the restart, and they're going to just take this hood right off. They will also have to check the rad and the front bumper to make sure it's not dragging. It looks to be all securely fastened, and the rad doesn't appear to be leaking anything, so they're going to send Bell back out here without the hood.
Well, he's down some fiberglass, but he's still in it as Josh Hurley gets put back up to the front. We'll be back for yet another restart here on the CarGurus 200. And welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as Glenn Steyer's down pit lane. The hood is up, but he's had an issue.
And we will file this with the, you don't see that every day. Under yellow down the backstretch, Steyer's coming to get his free pass. All 4 tires in the air as he made contact with JP Bergeron, who was aggressively scrubbing his tires.
That is something you would see Glenn Steyer's do in an open-wheeled sprint car, not necessarily in a full-fendered stock car.
That's Dukes of Hazzard action right there.
It is too. How about this for a restart? So we've got Hurley, we've got Corso on old tires. We're going to try this again.
And it's a complete reset from the last restart. They have to go back to the last completed lap. So it shuffles the deck back to where it was. We're going to try this one more time.
Into the Pinty's restart zone. There will be 5 to go when they cross the stripe.
Hurley this time with the lead. Marc-Antoine Cameron ducked into line behind the 24. He might have gone a little bit early there. You have to stay in your lane until you get past the start-finish line.
Now we're double file in through turn number 2. High, wide, and handsome is the 22 of Kyle Steckley. You saw the 71 Gary Clute way outside turn number 2. Everybody managed to get through there. How, I don't know.
On the last restart, Gary Clute was in the 2nd spot by the time they got to this point of the track. This time he's well outside of the top 10.
Connor Bell need a pit stop. He's got no hood. He's back midway up through the field. The positions are shaking up left, right, and center as Bergeron leans on the 24 of Hurley in 5A. They'll keep that way in through 5B.
I don't think Bergeron's car would have made that turn with only 4 tires. He needed the 4 from Josh Hurley and the 4 on the 1 car to make that move.
Look at this, though. Sam Fellows watched that happen, got a great run down the Andretti straightaway, pulls up alongside the 24 and is going for more into turn 8 as Bergeron goes all kinds of crossways.
Wow. The E-Racer number 1 Squirrely showing some damage from the contact with the Zeros tires. Here goes Alex Tagliani to the inside in turn number 10. Oh, that's not going to work.
Ooh, 3 wide in turn 10 does not work. It's a pile up here on the front straightaway.
Oh my goodness, the track closed up on the exit of turn 10. Will LaRue, Josh Hurley, I believe Dexter Stacy tried to get into turn number 10. Everybody looking for the same bit of real estate, and it just wasn't there. Full course yellow once again.
All those cars able to move, but one could not, and that's the Carlisle number 74 of Kevin Lacroix, and yet again they think, hey, we can pick up some spots until this happens.
So much going on. Dexter Stacy with a good run on Josh Hurley goes to the inside. Will LaRue aggressively goes to the inside of Dexter Stacy.
Gannett got a piece of it as well.
Hard contact there. Oh my goodness, look at this beautiful view.
And you can see pieces and parts of race car go flying. Now watch as the C's part just a little bit. That's 1 car width, and we're going to try and poke through at 2 at the same time.
Ryan Clute got through single file, and then Kevin Lacroix and Alex Gannett tried to go through, and Kevin Lacroix, this is a record. We have never watched a driver walk away in disgust twice in the same race.
As dejected the second time as he was the first. Still under a full course caution here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Every time the NASCAR Canada Series stops here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, it is a treat of a finish, and we're building towards another as the drivers have selected their lanes. And it is Alex Tagliani and Kyle Steckley leading them through the Pinty's restart zone.
Marc-Antoine Cameron was sent to the back under that yellow flag for an illegal lane change on the previous restart. As we thought, Dave, he moved over a little too soon.
Contact.
Oh, contact. Big wreck in turn 2.
Around goes the 80 of Alex Tagliani in the Saint Hubert Chevy Camaro. Kyle Steckley was your race leader, and they were both headed side by side into turn number 2, made a little bit of contact. You saw a puff of smoke, and then around went the 80, who was on the inside. There's some contact between Gary Clute and Kyle Steckley now too.
Steckley and Clute rubbing tires down through 4. This is a full course caution.
Not a big surprise that this one will be called with the impact that the 80 took on the outside of turn number 2. Have another look and watch Tagliani there.
So Tagliani was trying to move up a little bit to get a better entry into turn 2. Kyle Steckley was there.
Looked like Steckley was arching in for his regular race line. Clinton.
Donnie, you guys were in a shot here at the end of this one. What are you hearing about what happened here on the restart?
He just said him and the 22 got together and wrecked the car.
Tough break for you guys. You had a good day going.
Yeah, you know, the crew did a good job, and we appreciate all the sponsorship from St. Hubert's and all the folks on the team. Just a tough break.
Thanks for your time, Donnie. Obviously a dejected crew chief here. They were passing on the outside for the lead when this all went down.
Don Thompson Jr. and crew will have to pack up a little bit early here from the CarGurus 200 as Tagliani's car sits stopped on the outside of turn number 2. We'll take another quick break. We're into NASCAR overtime here in the CarGurus 200 for the NASCAR Canada Series. Steckley and now LP Dumoulin will lead him onto the front straightaway and into the Pinty's restart zone.
Sam Fellows with a lot of damage on the front of that 87. Visibility has got to be a problem for that driver. The hood is really pushed up.
He's tall, but he sits very low in that race car. So he's going to try and give it a John Wayne try and muscle it out here through turn number 2. First time at speed with that crumpled hood, but look at this battle for the lead.
LP Dumoulin on the left side. Kyle Steckley on the right. Now Kyle gets the inside for turn number 3. He'll sneak out into the race. St. Gary Kloot gonna battle for second.
Yeah, Kloot saw that hole and he tucked right into it. So now Kloot goes to second spot. Steckley, though, continues to lead this here, excavating number 22.
Down into turn number 5. Remember how early Gary Kloot pitted for fuel. He was about 4 laps before we thought we would see anybody. Does that enter your mind, Dave?
Whoa, look at this. He pulls it right out. Did the 22 stumble off of turn number 5? Because Kloot has a full head of steam down the Andretti straightaway. He's going to clear him well before turn number 8.
LP Dumoulin in the 3rd spot. They've pulled away slightly over 4th, but there are battles front to back going on as we're about to see the white flag. 1 more lap to go.
Single file for the top 3. Anything but goes behind as Steckley got loose on the exit of turn number 9. Now LP Dumoulin will drive to the inside. The white flag is up. 1 more lap to go.
Somebody's off into the dirt off of turn number 10. Everybody's still pointed in the right direction. LP Dumoulin makes the move on Steckley. Move Dumoulin up to P2.
How about J.P. Bergeron? All of that damage to the side of the E-Racer number 1 in 4th spot, and Ryan Kloot in the 42 holds down 5th.
Look at the front of the field. Gary Kloot. This is as big a lead as we've seen anybody have on the white flag lap here at CTMP in a long time.
Gannett is now giving Ryan Kloot some fits in 4th spot. This is the best battle on the racetrack as the top 3 have started to spread out. Gannett looks to the inside in turn number 5. Will he force the issue? He doesn't have to. He's right there.
Kloot tried to defend. Alex Gannett was not going to be denied the inside. Now it's a drag race down the backstretch.
Remember, Alex Gannett, one of the drivers who is going to campaign a full season here in 2026, trying to get the best of a part-timer in Ryan Kloot.
And every position matters. This side-by-side battle is going to pull J.P. Bergeron closer. Out in front, though, it's Gary Kloot. Will he be denied today?
Daryl Timmers is just in behind that battle as well, but Kloot can look at his mirror, take a breath. He's got it easy to the line. Gary Kloot will break a 59-race winless streak and take the CarGurus 200.
Alex Gannett completes the pass with bodywork flapping. Ryan Kloot rounds out the top 5.
Look at that top 5, and look at the excitement in the 71 pit. No doubt the smiling assassin, Gary Kloot, will be grinning ear to ear as he takes his cool-down lap. A winner here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Here he comes out of the number 71. How about it for Gary Clute? He gets it done. He'll salute the crowd here, and we'll jump in with Verdim. Gary, you've been fast here for a long time. You won races here in the past. 2015 was the last one. This has got to feel really good for you to finally get back where you belong.
Yeah, I mean, it means the world to me, to John. You know, we've been trying for a long time to get back to victory lane. Means the world to have the support from AutoLogic, from Clean Flow, from Hoffman Plastics, everyone that's, you know, looked after us for the last 11 years since we did this before, and so close so many times, and couldn't be happier.
It's great to see the Gary smile back. Anything concern you about the day? You guys just seem to have the whole thing covered.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, you know, the new tires were different. We kind of winged it, you know, and just took what the race would give us. There is so many variables here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, so many pit stops, green, white, checkered. So you just got to run your own race here.
Good job, Gary. Congrats.
Thanks.
Gary Clute comes home the winner, but take a look at the top 10. You have Daryl Timmers in 7th spot. Connor Bell came back for 8th.
And how about DJ Kennington? The hood was up. They were putting power steering fluid. Top 10 result.
Dexter Stacy involved in a wreck. He comes home 13. How about Ron Tomlinson in the 48 in 14th spot?
Quietly solid run. Clint is with 2nd place.
LP, what a drive here today. You almost got this one spot back. How's that feel today?
It feels great. I mean, to be back on the podium at the CTMP here. Great organization, great fans. That WeatherTech 47 OmniFab Benmark car was fast. I think we had a shot at the end to get probably the win there, but I didn't see Gary Clute coming because the guys told me he only had 2 left tires, but yeah, he did a great job, and we worked well all together. I think we gave a good show there at the end with Stakely as well. So I want to thank my fans, my team, my sponsors, family, obviously. We want to win. But of course, we want to win another championship as well. So we're on a good track right now.
Heck of a start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
LP Dumoulin always a character as we take a look at the points. And Gary Clute only running a partial season in that 71. He does lead. So LP Dumoulin, Alex Gannett running a full season.
Yeah, peel away all the drivers not racing full time. Let's go back to 3rd place.
Kyle, you're a fierce racer. You had this one in your hand. I know this is crushing you. You know, your day was wild. You almost had one though, man.
Yeah, for sure. Just so frustrating, but really proud of my MBS Motorsports guys here excavating and everyone who makes this deal possible. I really thought we were going to have this one. We just, those last couple restarts, I didn't have the power those guys had anymore, and I got some right side damage with the exhaust pipes at some point, I think, when the 24 was starting in front of us and everything got bunched up. But just really frustrating. I feel we had a super fast car and we had the best strategy there with fresh tires. But end of the day, we'll keep fighting and strong run for the guys and come back in the fall.
His win's coming, guys. The 3rd for Kyle Steckley here today at CTMP.
What an amazing Victoria Day weekend show.
This NASCAR race has been brought to you by Leland Industries, 100% North American made fasteners. By Paye Course Racing. By E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. And by WeatherTech. For the perfect fit and ultimate vehicle protection, nothing protects like WeatherTech. Order online at weathertech.ca.
The last time Gary Clute won at CTMP, he had nothing to hold but the checkered flag.
Now he's got a couple of kids and a really big trophy presented by Brian Smart and Devin Ellert.
What a start to the 2026 season. Amazing action, huge field of cars, and a massive crowd.
And a clean finish. Sure, there were bumps along the way, but a clean pass for the win here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and that win goes to the 71 of Gary Clute.
A well-deserved result as the top 3 celebrates on the podium.
Our next race, the Bud Light 150 on the oval at Autodrome Chaudière.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.